Now I'd like to welcome Dr. Leonard Lai. Dr. Lai holds a first-class honors degree in civil engineering and a PhD specializing in the areas of statistical, hydrology, and environmental statistics. Dr. Lai has been with Memorial University since 1988. Since his time at Memorial, he has served as the Disciplines Chair of Civil Engineering for 3 terms and is currently serving his 2nd term as the Associate Dean in the Faculty of Engineering and Applied Science. In addition to administrative duties, he has graduated over 30 master's and PhD students and has published over 130 publications. Dr. Lai has also served as the consultant for several major private companies and government organizations. Dr. Lai is also an accomplished teacher. He was the winner of the Professional Engineers and Geoscientists of Newfoundland Teaching Award in 2001 and the President's Award for Distinguished Teaching in 2003. Please welcome Dr. Lai.
It's almost lunchtime. I guess you must be hungry by now. Yes? Okay, I'll try to be quick. First of all, is Rosanna Reyes here? No? Very strange. She emailed me, worried that she would miss orientation. I assured her that she didn't miss it yet. And yet she's not here, so she missed it. So. Okay, so I'm glad the president is not here and the vice president is not here, the dean is not here, so that I can tell you the truth now. Okay, so you want to be successful as a grad student, of course. So there are 4 things that you need to keep in mind. One, obviously, is the academic issues, right? Secondly, non-academic stuff. And then Dr. Murian mentioned a bit about the supervisor-student relationship. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about the importance of emotional intelligence and also some essential skill sets that you should learn while you're here as a grad student. So, first thing first, academic issues. Obviously, don't fail, right? Now, you'd be surprised that grad students, although you are scholars and all kinds of stuff, you probably top of your class when you were undergrad, when they come to grad school, it's a totally different ballgame. You can fail. And one of the reasons is because some students are not even aware that the passing grade for grad students is 65%, not 50%. Even though you may be asked to take an undergrad course, your classmate who's an undergrad student will pass at 50% and you fail at 64%. Keep that in mind, okay? Because if that is one of your courses in your program, in your grad program, 65 is the passing mark, regardless it's an undergrad. First year undergrad, it could be a first year undergrad course. You get 64, you fail, okay? You fail 2 of those, you're out, so. I know it sounds bad, right? Now, the second thing is if you are getting some kind of funding from the School of Grad Studies, some of fellowship, you need to get a 75% average. Every term. Can't slack off, okay? Once you get a 74, bang, somebody's going to send you an email to say, we're taking the money back. Then what are you going to do? You have to beg your supervisor for more money, or you have to go and find a job? Well, I know. You have to keep that in mind as well, right? The next question is ask yourself, when you take a course, do you have enough background? Your supervisor might ask you to take a certain course, and you think that a certain course might be good for your background, but if you don't have that background, you might really suffer through the course, right? So if you don't have the background, look for extra help. Take an undergrad course to fill up the background before you start your grad course maybe, or you might just have to drop the course and tell your supervisor, that's the wrong course for me, right? Like I said, you don't want to get a bad mark, right, and get your fellowship taken away from you. And the worst thing is you fail a course and then you're out. Now, how many courses do you need? All depends on your program, of course. It ranges from 2, we are doing a PhD program, right up to, could be 15 or something, or I don't know, 20 sometimes. You have to do an MBA or something. So it all depends. Now, all of them have different criteria for passing. I think I know some programs allow you to fail up to 3 courses, or no, the 3rd course, you fail the 3rd course, then you're out. Some is 2. some is 1, so it all depends. So you better know the rules, right? Pace yourself. Don't do too many courses in one term. You might say, oh, I want to finish quickly, but I can assure you, taking 3 courses, 3 graduate courses, is tough, okay? Very tough. Some courses, 1 course is equivalent to maybe 3 undergrad courses, okay? So keep that in mind. Grad course is a bit different, obviously. You might have to do a lot more reading. You might read lots and lots of research papers. You have to write a lot more. And obviously, you have to study a lot harder, right? You might have to write term papers, reviews of things that you have never done before at the undergrad. And for those of you who are first time doing grad studies in English, and your language is not in English, it's tough. You know, you might have to translate everything, right? So taking 3 courses is definitely very, very tough. 2 is tough as well, right? So, but those are the things to keep in mind. Don't be too ambitious. I mean, you should be ambitious, but when it comes to courses, you have to keep the other things in mind, right? You don't want to fail. Have a good study plan. If you don't have a good study plan, if you don't know how to do one, we have programs at MUN that offers study skills, how you should study. And if you don't like that, if you want another plan, I have a really good one. You can come and talk to me, free of charge. Okay, another thing to know is you need to know the regulations and the policies. Read the calendar. If you haven't read the calendar yet, the university calendar is all online, right? Go to the Faculty of Grad Studies, read the policies that relates to your program, right? So that you know when is the start of semester, when is the first day of classes, do you know? Tomorrow. Your fees are also due tomorrow, right? So don't forget. It was changed from last year, I think. Last year was a week later. But this year is same day as your first day of classes. You need to know when you can add courses, when's the last day of adding a course to your program, and when it's the last day for dropping the course. That's the key date, I would say, is dropping the course. Because after attending classes for 3 weeks, you may say, wow, this is not for me, and you want to drop it, right? You can still drop it. Otherwise, it might be too late, right? What if you fail a course? This happens quite often, right? Of course, the president never tells you that. But you can fail a course. Well, you need to know how to appeal. There's a whole appeals process in the calendar. If you need help with your appeals process, the GSU is there to help you. Go and see the GSU. Somebody will help you along the process. Okay? And you need to know what is an acceptable excuse for your appeal. For example, you say you are sick. Well, do you have a medical note? Right? Well, not any medical note will do, right? There's a whole regulation on doctor's note, okay, in the calendar. So you need to know that, right? You can't just get anybody to write a note for you, right? Not just any doctor as well. I can't write a note for you. I'm not a medical doctor, right? So you need to know where to get help. GSU is a good place to start. Another thing, not many people like to talk about this, but another very common offense among grad students, especially new to the business, is academic misconduct. And I'm sure you don't intend to commit academic misconduct, but sometimes you don't know the rules that this happens, right? And one of the most common academic misconduct is plagiarism. That means, you're asked to write a term paper, but you copy half the paper from Wikipedia or something, and you think that is great, Well, if you copy it and you didn't even change the font, of course, everybody knows you copied it from Wikipedia, right? This happens. I've seen this happening all the time. You'd be surprised, right? Grad students are supposed to be smart, but sometimes they're as dumb as anything. So you never know, right? So if you have no idea how to write properly or how to cite properly, go to the writing center. We have a writing center at the booth downstairs. Talk to them. They can help you with that, right? You need to know how to avoid all this academic misconduct stuff. You need to know your rights as well. Let's say you're charged with academic misconduct and you think you didn't. Again, you need to know your rights. Go and seek help with the GSU, and hopefully they can help you with that as well. Like always, ignorance of the law is no defense, right? I hope you know that. So that also applies to academic regulations. It's like it might be fine for you to kill somebody in your country and say, well, I can do that in my country. I can kill anybody. But here, you're not allowed to do that. And you cannot say, oh, I didn't know that, right? So you have to be responsible. You need to know the rules. So those are academic issues. Non-academic issues. Okay, one of the key non-academic issues that cause a lot of problem or stress to students is financial problems. So you have to ask yourself, do you have enough money to live on, right? Don't underestimate the cost of living in St. John's. Generally, it's not that expensive, but probably is a lot more expensive than where you come from, okay? Food, eating out is expensive. Transportation is expensive. I mean, compared to, let's say you're from Beijing, you can take the subway for 2 yuan, which is like, what, 30 cents, anywhere in Beijing. Here, I think a bus ride is what, $2 something? It's a big difference, right? So you don't underestimate the cost. Don't spend beyond your means, obviously. Use credit wisely. It's very easy to get a credit card in Newfoundland or in Canada. The bank loves to give you a credit card because they know they can charge you high interest if you don't pay the balance, right? Now, if you have problems with money, you need to seek help as soon as possible. Talk to your supervisor, your GO is a graduate officer, or SGS, right? And counseling, maybe you have a gambling problem. You'd be surprised, there are students with gambling problem, okay? And do you need part-time work? Sometimes you just can't make ends meet that you might have to work part-time, okay? The next thing is physical and mental health. If you're sick, go and see a doctor. You've already been told earlier that you have a fantastic health insurance coverage, right? So when you go and see a doctor here, it's free, or you already paid for it. So go and see the doctor. You're sick, go and see the doctor, right? Eat well. Avoid all the junk food that we're feeding you just now, right? I mean, joking. But I know as a poor grad student, it's always good to go and seek out free food. Like there's a free barbecue afterwards, I'm sure you want to go. But most free food are junk food, generally, right? High in fat, high in sodium, they're not good for you, okay? You get fat, and then eventually, you get into depression and all kinds of stuff. So make sure you eat healthy meals. Learn how to cook healthy. Exercise. You have paid your $40 every term to use the gym facilities here. It's free, or you're paid for it. Might as well make use of it. We have excellent gym facilities, right? Take up a sport. If you have never played a game, well, join up. Join an aerobics club. Play team sports. Make friends, right? Join a club. You need to sleep a lot. You need to play hard. You need to study hard, of course, right? Another thing is maintain good relationship with your family. Now, again, one of the reasons some students drop out is because they have problems with family, right? The wife could be a grad student, husband is not, and there's conflict in the house, or the other way around. If both are grad students, also there will be conflict. Both want to study, no time for each other, right? That kind of stuff. So you have to maintain good relationship with your family. take personal time off each week. Every week, tell yourself, Friday night, I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to enjoy myself, relax, read a book, travel, see a movie, right? Spend time with loved ones. 50% of you are going to find a spouse, right? So you need time for that, right? Otherwise, how are you going to find somebody? That will increase your chance of success as well. Personal issues, maintain self-discipline. Now, this is a very common problem among a lot of grad students. Some of you I know come from countries where the internet might be banned even, or a lot of sites are blocked. So obviously when you come here, it's like heaven, right? You can go to any site. And some people get carried away. They are into online gaming, shopping, you name it. And that, or go on to PhD comics, spend a lot of time there, right? So if you have any kind of problems, addiction problem, seek help right away. Talk to a friend, seek counseling. We have a counseling center downstairs. Well, there's a booth downstairs. They're always waiting for you to help. They want to help you. Again, talk to somebody. The International Student Advising Office, grad officer. I think the best thing is go and talk to the professional, the counselors, if you have any serious issues, right? Don't let things fester. That's the key thing. I know some of this thing might be embarrassing to tell people, but it's better to let somebody know, a professional know, than to let that, eventually eat at you, right? And that will affect your studies. Here's the big thing. Dr. Muri mentioned about this, how important this is. The student-supervisor relationship. Now, the supervisor normally, in a lot of faculty, they provide a big chunk of your funding. Not everybody is fully funded by the School of Grad Studies or by some scholarships or whatever. A lot of the money comes from the supervisor's grant. So, obviously, they have a big say in your career here, right? They provide advice on courses. Normally, before you take a course, the supervisors they agree. Okay? You can't just pick any course you want, right? They provide guidance to your research, they're the mentors and all the stuff. In general, most supervisors are nice people. I say in general. Okay? So you have to maintain a good relationship with your supervisor. Although sometimes it's very hard. Because some supervisors are, I cannot use that word here, but you know what I mean. Well, here's one of, like I said, I love this cartoon as well. Basically, you're at the mercy of your supervisor in general. I'm just telling you the truth here, okay? Some supervisors are nice people. Like I said, a lot of them are really nice people. They are looking out for your well-being. But a lot of supervisors, well, they're human beings. They are also trying to advance their career. So they can be pretty hard on you, okay? So not all supervisor-student relationships are rosy. Okay? Keep that in mind, right? Some expect too much too soon. Within the first term, I want the proposal. I want you to write 2 papers. And you say, what? So that could happen, okay? Some may not be easy to deal with, okay? In my office, I handle a lot of these cases where students come crying and, say, I have a problem with my supervisor. So, and this is not uncommon, okay? Some want to control your every move. They want you to be there 8:30. And whenever they pop into your office, they want you to see you there, right? There's some supervisors like that, right? Not many, luckily. Not too many like that. But there are some who are like that. And some who say, well, go and explore, do whatever you want, and you have a problem, come and see me. Okay? So there are 2 extremes. So you need to find out what your supervisor's supervision style is, right? You might want to have a chat with them first. Ask them what's your style, It might be a bit awkward, but you have to get this out. You have to ask them what is their expectation. Do you want me to be here every day at 9 o'clock, including weekends? Or, do we normally meet at 8 p.m. or 12 midnight, right? No kidding. I know of supervisors who meet their students at midnight because that's the only time they can meet them. No kidding, this is true. Or weekends only, okay? Another thing you have to ask yourself is, am I an easy person to deal with? Don't forget, as a grad student, there's some grad students who are also very difficult to deal with, right? I also hear supervisors telling me, my grad students, impossible to deal with. They think they know everything. They're so aggressive, this and that, right? So you have to ask yourself, am I easy to deal with, right? Next thing I'd like to talk about I'm sure some of you have heard of this term, emotional intelligence. This is basically about non-academic stuff, right? About recognizing your own emotions and, whether you are aware of the emotions of others, right? So in general, people with high emotional intelligence, or EQ, know how to adjust themselves and how to behave and deal with others, right? The emotion of others as well. So this is dealing with interpersonal effectiveness. And the more effective you are, the more successful you'll be. So this applies to you as a grad student as well. So in fact, many experts believe that emotional intelligence, or EQ, is more important than IQ. And I see that all the time as well. We have a lot of very successful grad students academically with high IQ, high 90s in their average, but never find a job, right? Because they have low EQ, right? So one of the ways to raise your EQ, in fact, there are 6 ways of doing that. First thing is self-awareness. Recognize your own emotion, the emotion of others. Empathy, feeling for others, right? Understand their emotions. Self-regulation, this is very important, is how you manage and control yourself, right? Can you control yourself? If your supervisor scream at you, are you going to scream back? If you're going to scream back and then realize that, I shouldn't have done that, then you're in trouble, right? Because your supervisor will always remember that. They are human beings, right? So if they scream at you, you might not scream at them yet, right? You scream at somebody else first. And then maybe you write them an email. You scream at me, and let them be aware that they scream at you, Don't let it go, because they shouldn't be screaming at you. Next thing is motivation. How you motivate yourself. You need a way of knowing how you motivate yourself, right? So, these things are maybe new to you, or maybe not, right? But you have to keep that in mind. Social skills, like I said, is important to have social skills. It's not good enough just to have academic skills, right? It's all, like I said, to be successful, you have to have social skills. You have to be able to negotiate conflict, deal with others. And finally, of course, knowing when to be happy, right? Happiness is important. You cannot be a grouch all the time. It's like our president of GSU is always happy, right? So it's, and it's contagious, right? If you're happy, everybody's happy. So you have to be aware of that as well, right? So the last bit of advice here is some essential skills for success. I've listed from 6 to 1. First one is speed reading skills. Like I said, as a grad student, you need to read a lot of stuff, right? So it helps to learn some techniques for speed reading. And there are, I think there are courses offered by the Counseling Center on speed reading, right? It's a technique you can learn, okay? Learn how to, you don't have a lot of time to read a lot of stuff, so you need to know how to read fast, right? So it's a skill that can be learned. And MUN does offer all this stuff. Number 5 is time management skills. This is very critical. There are a lot of demands on your time as a grad student, and you need to know how to manage your time. especially dealing with procrastination. Like I said, Dr. Miriam has mentioned that as well, right? It's very easy to procrastinate. So you need to learn how to get things done. One of the simplest techniques is just do a list. Every day do a list. What are the things you need to do? And when you strike off that list after you have done it, oh, it feels so great, right? So it's just simple technique, right? But like I said, you have to manage your time. When to study, when to take off. If you have if you have scheduled your break time, you don't feel guilty, right? Study skills. Like I said, a grad student study habits is going to be different, right? Your study habits is going to be different. It's not the same as studying for an undergrad course. Luckily, MUN also offers study skills clinic. It's constantly offering that, right? So some of you may not have studied for quite a while because you've been out in the workforce. Here's a chance to, get reacquainted with some of the study skills, right? Learn how to study again, okay? How to remember what you study, how to take notes effectively, that kind of stuff, right? So learning in grad school is a bit different. It can be very different in some cases. Third is basic money management. Money is tight generally for all grad students, right? It's tight for everybody anyway, right? I'm sure you asked the president, is money tight for you? I'm sure he said he's tight as well because his mortgage is a lot more than yours, right? I'm sure he has to, he has a fancier car than you. So for him, it's also tight. Everybody has money problems. But as a grad student especially, right? Because you don't want money problems to get into the way of your success, right? You need to know how to budget your money, debt management, use credit cards, the magic of compound interest, and how you save for a rainy day. Even as a grad student with very little income, you might still have to save some money. You never know when you need it, right? Second on my list is dealing with mental health. Handling stress. I've seen a lot of grad students who gets, I'm going to be blunt, okay? They get fatter and fatter every term. And this is caused by stress. And they know it. The blood pressure goes up, then they get more stress, right? And then eventually it goes into depression. So you need to know how to deal with be aware of your own mental health, right? And again, we have good counseling center to help you with that, right? Or at least recognize the problems in your friend maybe. If you notice that your friend is not eating well or eating too much junk food and just packing up the pounds, maybe it's something to do with mental health issues, right? And most people don't like to talk about it, but it's important to recognize that. And it's a very common issue, right? I mean, you might have a fight with your supervisor. You might could have a fight with your girlfriend or boyfriend. All this causes stress, right? It will affect your studies, okay? And number one skill that you need to learn is learn how to apply for and interview for a job. At the end of the day, you need a job, right? So you need to know how to explore your career options, writing effective resumes, cover letters. Luckily, we offer that as well at MUN, all for free, right? MUN offers all this help for you for free. So it would be dumb not to use it, really, right? If you tell yourself, oh, I don't have time for that kind of stuff, that tells you you really need to budget your time properly. Or I don't have time to go to the gym, that tells you you really need to budget time for your gym, right? Any squash players here? One? Okay, you're a squash player, you want to play a game, contact me. Okay, what? Yes, I think we have a badminton club in MUN, run by our president of GSU, that has coaching. Yes, we do have that. Okay, so you can join up. I mean, it's a lot of fun. Now, where to find additional help? I'm just going to list a few of them. I'm sure they all told you about it already. School of Grad Studies, obviously. Andrew Kim, I'm sure you have met him already. If not, you better stand up again. You might have contacted him by email or something, but this is the man, right? If he cannot answer your question at SGS, nobody can answer your question. So he's the man to talk to. And you met Dr. Mirin, if you need to go higher level. GSU, like I said, they here to help you. If you're an international student, go to ISA. Counseling Center helps you with a lot of stuff, okay? Personal stuff, study skills, coping with stress, all kind of stuff. Writing Center, very important place to go if you have problems with your writing. Like I said, it involves a lot of writing as a grad student. Sometimes you just need to find out how you write, right, as a grad student, right? It could be your thesis, it could be just a term paper, it could be just an assignment, right? It's free, okay? Doesn't cost you anything. Well, there's another cartoon from PhD Comics. Before grad school, you tell yourself you want to research anything. Oh, I want to research whatever I want. But the truth is, you don't get to research whatever you want, okay? As a grad student, you research what your supervisor wants you to do, generally, okay? Even a supervisor cannot research what they want. It's only when you die then you can do what you want. So keep that in mind. Anybody from Turkey here besides you? Okay, good. See this sign? Bayman. Where do townies go? Anybody can answer that? No? Oh, good. Well, actually, if you're new to Newfoundland, for some reason, Newfoundlanders who are not from St. John's are called Baymen. People from the town, they're called townies, right? It just so happened that this toilet sign is actually in Turkey. Bey means men in Turkish. So I have to take this picture when I saw it. Oops, it's not mine. Any question? I know it went by quickly. Good things I finished before Dr. Murin comes in. Any question? No? Okay, good. Thank you.